In this video, you will learn how to do an Easter bunny, a chick, and an Easter egg design that are super quick, super easy to do, and that any beginner can do as long as you use my easy to follow steps. Let's go. First, we are going to start with the Easter bunny design. So for this Easter bunny design, you need a white base. You need some other like kind of color for inside of the ears, like a gradient, almost like this one is a good one. Something that's pastel that fits in with the Easter color palette. And then you need like a solid color liner, preferably like a purple or a pink or something like that. On the top, you're gonna just dab on both sides like this. So you're just gonna get 2 little dots of gradient. Next, you're going to take your 3/4 brush and white. You're gonna load your brush enough for there to be enough paint to do the design. Now, starting at the lip, you're going to come up and curve into the nose. Same thing on the other side, curve into the nose. Kind of looks like a white Hershey's Kiss. Then you're gonna fill this in. Try not to get inside of their mouth. And then we're gonna come over here like eyebrows. Same thing on the other side, eyebrows. Okay, then right here in the middle, you're gonna do some swooshes for hair. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna do a big swoop for an ear. Same thing on the other side, a big swoop for an ear. Okay, so as you can see, this right here is essentially just a massive teardrop, okay? You can fill it in, you can fix the shape however you want it to go, but it is essentially this shape. Don't look at anything else on here, just this shape right here. It is a big teardrop coming around and up right here. And on the inside of that teardrop is your color that you first put down. You can extend out to make it a little bit more even too, so that you have more bushy like hair. And then don't forget to put this little white line on the other side to make it look like it's inside of an ear. Then we are going to move on to our next brush, your number 6 liner, or your number 4, depending what you're more comfortable with. And you are going to do your solid color. So load your brush up with the purple. Load enough. Make sure it's a creamy consistency. Okay, now on their nose, obviously on the practice board, it's a little bit difficult to see, so I'm gonna just do my best. But on their nose, you're gonna go just like a cat nose, where you're just filling in the nostrils. So use their nostrils as a guide, fill in their nostrils, kind of have it come down at a point underneath the tip of their nose. That'll give it more definition. Then we're gonna come down here and right on their upper lip, you're gonna put an upside down teardrop for like the split, the bunny mouth. Then up here, you are going to line the ears. Now, if your line work isn't steady, you can skip this part. I don't want you, if you feel like you do one and you're like, ugh, it looked better without me lining it, then you can choose to not do the line work, just as long as you're still doing that nose. You still need to do the nose and the lip, but otherwise the rest of it should be fine without the line work if you're not comfortable with it. But as you can see, it kind of helps finish and makes it so that you can kind of tell what it is. Right here, like this. And there you go. There's your bunny. If your line is not very long, you can take orange and paint their finger with some green on the end, and it'll look like a carrot, and they can put the carrot up to their nose. Or up to their mouth like a bunny. Sprinkle this with glitter, super easy, simple to do. Our next design is going to be a chick. We're gonna take a solid yellow like this and load a 3/4 brush So for super beginners, we're just going to start with the solid. Oh, I got a little purple in there. Make sure you're loading enough. Now you're gonna go like this. Starting on the side of their nose, you're just going to go like this, kind of like you're brushing, fanning out, and create little lines all the way around their eyes like a mask. And then onto their nose like this. You don't have to have it go all the way up their nose because the nose will go on there. So now, depending on your comfort level, you can fill this in with a paintbrush. You can also take a sponge. You can take yellow paint on a sponge and you can sponge the inside, which is probably faster, to be honest, than the brush, and it's less abrasive for like those smaller kiddos. And you just fill it in up until the edge like that. And this is where, like, if you had a yellow that had like a gradient like this, right, where it's like dark yellow, a little bit of orange, so on and so forth, that's where you'd get some extra extra depth to the design. Grab orange, put an arch on their nose, a little cone going down, and fill it in. And then with the extra paint, you're just going to kind of do some flicks on the outside to give the design some more depth, so it's not just like a yellow blob. And you're going to do 2 little nostrils here like this. So the next design that we're going to do is an Easter egg. We are going to take this sponge that we used inside of the Easter bunny ears, so a teardrop sponge. Don't use the same sponge. Always change your sponges in between kits, but when you're practicing like this, it's just fine to reuse a sponge. But when you're face painting on children, always make sure you're using 1 sponge per child. Okay, so you are going to load a teardrop sponge. When you're using this to make your egg, you're going to push this part, the point of the teardrop, you're going to push it down so that it makes an egg shape. So while you're sponging, you're going to push it down. You're going to go right here, and you're just going to stipple. I must not have loaded it enough. See, even somebody who's been doing this for 8 years makes mistakes, but mistakes can always be remedied. So you're going to stipple it. And then after that, while that dries, you're going to take this. You're going to take a 1 stroke of some sort. So go right here. So any colors that are pastel that you can load more than 1 color so that you're getting that gradient. Use that for this 3/4 brush on this next step. And then come up here, start on the tip, curve down to the egg. As you can see, I didn't load enough again. All right, curve down to the egg. Curve. We're going to outline with white. Usually I don't outline with white, but today we're going to do some outlining with white and other colors. But first we're going to start with white. Okay, I want you to do a swirl on the top. Then you can come halfway and do a swirl in the opposite direction. And the swirls are always going to flow into the central location. That central location is in the middle of that egg. On the bottom, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to swirl up into the middle of the egg. Then we're going to do some teardrops, okay? And on the top up here, we're going to add a few teardrops. And we're going to add some teardrops here, okay? Now we're going to decorate the egg. So I'm just going to go zigzags, do a line, do some dots. Do some dots up here. Okay, now I'm going to grab a darker shade of purple. So outline your egg like this. You can choose to add more because eggs, you know, they have different details in them. So you can go like this. And then another thing that you can do, so you can stop there. Okay. You could also, if you have a really long line, you could skip the purple entirely. You could outline the egg with white. And then that way you're technically only loading 3 different colors. But say your line is really short, you can take this an extra step further and you can like outline the teardrops like this. Okay. And then on the top, but this is optional. Do not think that you don't have to do this. This is why we use a word board, so that when we have longer lines, we can add extra things. When we have longer lines, we can take stuff away. When we have shorter lines, we can add extra stuff. You can put either chunky glitter or soft glitter on this, and you are good to go. There are your 3 Easter designs.